All right, good evening and welcome. It is the November 19th, 2018 East Long Meadow Public School Committee meeting. It is 6 p.m. Call the meeting to order. The meeting is being both audio and videotaped this evening, and I would ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll do our roll call. Mr. Brady.
Jake Brady, student rep.
Bill Fonseca.
Sarah Trulio.
Gregory Thompson.
Gordon Smith, Superintendent of Schools.
Elizabeth Marcin Boucher.
Pamela Blair, Assistant Superintendent for Business.
Kathy Saletti, Recording Secretary.
And we have minutes for approval this evening.
Move to approve the regular session meeting minutes for November 5th, 2018.
I'll second.
Motion made and second. Discussion. Hearing no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries 4-0. Committee and subcommittee communication. Mr. Brady.
Yeah, thank you. So last Friday, Mr. Polk's African American Studies class and about 300 other students, faculty, administration, and community members engaged in a diversity and leadership discussion panel. It was made up of many great leaders that grew up in the local area, so that was really exciting. And a phenomenal discussion was had, and I've only heard positive things about how this event went. And then on Wednesday, November 7th, East Long Meadow High School hosted guest speaker Lynn Lyons, who gave the whole school advice on how to navigate stress and anxiety. A strong message was sent about mental health and how to take care of yourself, and I believe it was really a great opportunity for students to hear this excellent speaker. So there's good things happening at the high school.
I think there may be a follow-up based on the discussion and interest that people had with the Lynn Lyons presentation.
Yes.
The high school may look to put together a mental health fair with the help of students and faculty and outside providers, which would be, I think, exceptional.
Do you think the students kind of got a vibe that they're not alone in this?
Yeah.
That it's like
Yeah,
a community
yeah.
thing? Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice,
it was
yeah.
great.
That's good.
Great. Thank you. Mr. Fonseca.
Yeah, Gordon and I attended the MASC conference past 2 weeks ago, and as usual, it was a great conference, action-packed with sessions from 7:30 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. and it was very well organized again. Some of the sessions, a lot of the sessions centered around social and emotional learning and the challenges there. I moderated a session on school safety with a social worker from the Lowell Public Schools, which was very well attended. Keynote speakers included the Commissioner Jeff Riley, who I had a chance to catch up with at the end of dinner, just reiterated where we are as a district. Jimmy Tingle, who satirically ran for Lieutenant Governor, so he spoke about his escapades there, and that was a good talk. Jim Browdy held a panel discussion on the election wrap-up. And I did have a chance to catch up with Congressman Richie Neal, who received a Lifetime Achievement Award from MASC, and he's in line for a very powerful position in Washington. So
Ways and Means?
Ways and Means, so we'll
Yeah.
see what happens. Overall, it was a great conference and it was very well attended.
Can you help us with a high school maybe?
I mentioned it.
There are ways, there are ways,
ways.
right? Maybe?
He's working on it.
Cool. Thank you. Sarah.
Yes, I was able to get to two events that were hosted at different sites. I was able to attend the Living with Love presentation that was facilitated by Amanda DiNardo. It was great to see representatives from the district offices, administrators, teachers, and then families in attendance. She gave a really dynamic presentation that seemed to be really well received, and she was really open to feedback and participation from the audience, which was great. It was a really positive night. I was also able to attend the Meadowbrook Pizza Night, and the ladies who facilitated that, I believe it was Sharon Baker and Lindsay Maruka, they just did such a nice job organizing and ensuring that the kids were having a great time and that the lines were moving along for the pizza.
Where'd they get the pizza?
They got it from Leonie's. And
Oh,
then
nice.
the administrators were were both there, teachers were there, and the kids really had a great time. And then finally, Pamela and Gordon and myself have been working with the para union, and we're getting really close to a tentative agreement that we'll be bringing forth to the school committee soon enough. They really wanted to extend a sincere thank you to the school committee in terms of looking at the contract and really opening up negotiations to move forward with the para union.
Great. Beth?
Had the 125th birthday meeting today. It was the second one that I went to, and they've got all kinds of ideas. But they are, we had discussed, and I did with Mr. McGee, doing a softball, baseball kind of thing. So they're looking into doing that. Maybe the center field, maybe get the baseball field fixed because the softball field is in good condition. And I'll talk to you about maybe trying to incorporate the younger students into doing something for it. Okay?
Yeah.
Very cool. Great. All good stuff. Thank you all. We have an opportunity for visitors to address the committee. Seeing none, we will move forward to 5.1.1. Mr. Smith?
Okay, we have Mr. McGee here, our athletic director from East Long Meadow High School. And in your package, you'll find a informational memo from Mr. McGee to all of you regarding the request to put in a waiver for the girls' swim team for 8th graders to be part of the swim team this school year.
Yep. And before we get to that, just a reminder, Thanksgiving morning, 10 a.m., the game's at East Long Meadow. Adults are $7, students are $5. It's going to be cold, so
Dress warmly.
make sure you dress warm.
Yeah.
So that's this Thursday morning. Along with the 8th grade waivers, we are getting ready for winter sports to start, which is going to be this Monday after Thanksgiving, the 26th. We do currently have 8th grade waivers for ice hockey, for boys and girls ski team, and for wrestling. I wasn't planning on putting in 8th grade waiver for girls swimming because I thought the numbers would be in the 15 to 16 range. The MIA suggests applying for a waiver if we're under 12. And the boys have 16 swimmers already signed up, so this would be a waiver just for the girls swim team. There's currently only 8 swimmers that are signed up, grades 9 through 12. Multiple swimmers switched to other sports. We talked about, I think in a previous meeting, a lot of the swim members are pretty well-rounded. They do a lot of different activities. So I didn't expect some of them to switch to other sports, but it wasn't too surprising because the swimmers definitely are involved in lots of different activities. So we're at the 8 number right now. I talked to the swim coach. He anticipates anywhere from 2 to 4 8th grade female swimmers being interested. At Birchland, Dr. Allen is announcing each morning about the 8th grade waivers. There's still time to sign up for 8th graders and their parents before sports start on Monday. So
For the
that's-
other sports that already were approved,
Yes.
you're saying those waivers?
Yes, correct. Yep.
If the swimmers choose to, as 8th graders, to swim with the high school, do they not then swim with the Marlins, who they otherwise would?
So they can still swim with the Marlins, they just could never miss a high school practice or meet in order to go with the Marlins. So since we share a facility, they can still be a part of both teams, but the high school has to be their priority, and that goes for all sports. If athletes can participate on other sports teams in season as long as they're never missing any high school activities.
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
No?
So I'll move to approve the 8th grade MIA waiver for girls swimming.
Motion made
Well, second.
and seconded by Mr. Fonseca. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. Motion carries 4-0.
Great, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you, Mr.
Kevin.
McGee.
Thank you, Deb.
Game's home this weekend, right?
That's right.
It's
Slow down.
Thursday.
ELHS.
Thursday.
That's warm.
Oh, yeah.
Put that tarp on the field
Yeah.
when we get it.
Is
Am I gonna see a
it
requisition?
in the mail already? Because we only have 2 days.
Could be a tractor trailer from Amazon.
That was a
pulling in in
joke.
the
'Cause
morning.
Yellow trash bags, we'll just lump it.
We were talking to the group that does the maintenance program for the field just to get some thoughts around what else we could do, given that it's going to be, the field drains incredibly well. That's not a problem. It's just if we get another dusting and that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
What'd they say?
So, one of the things we want to do is probably run the brusher machine, but what we were asking was, can you run, Up to what level of snow could you run that?
Right, probably not much.
Right, not too much. which
What
is
about
understandable.
plowing it with a pipe underneath the plow? Wasn't that brought up originally?
Yeah,
Do you
we
remember
would
that?
need to, it was.
Yeah.
So we would need to train the individuals who are plowing it and make sure that we had all of that ready to go.
Equipment, yeah.
What's
So it's something
what's
we can
today?
pursue.
Monday?
Yeah, it's Monday.
We'll be fine, we'll be
In-
fine.
in
Doesn't
the,
matter,
uh,
we'll be fine.
In future years, but something that we have not done.
So will they shovel the yard lines or the each
That's
10 yard
happened in
lines?
the past.
If we had to go there,
Yeah.
we would be up early shoveling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
We have
was it-
staff
was it-
for that or crew for that?
We have some staff for that, and then we get a lot of volunteers.
Okay,
and
good to
buy
know.
a lot of plastic
It was,
shovels.
what, 4 years ago that happened, where we got about
3, 4, maybe, yeah.
We got about 6 inches of snow Thanksgiving morning, and everybody was out there shoveling the yard lines.
Thanksgiving football.
Thanksgiving
That's right.
football.
Gotta
Do what you
in
have to do.
Northeast.
That's right.
What you gotta do.
We're hoping that everything's rain from here on out.
Could be.
Yeah.
Well, no more rain either. Let's just stop with that. too.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some grants,
Okay.
please.
So 5.2.1, in your packet, you'll see that now the committee had already approved the FY19 grants, by, I believe it was back in September. So on the first page here, you're going to see that the METCO grant, which is about 3/4 of the way down, has been increased since you had approved that by $11,058, bringing it to $266,595. So I do need you to vote on that increase, as well as on page 2, and I believe I spoke about this back in September when we were talking about grants, that FY18 Title I and FY18 Title IIA grants have both been increased, and they call it a year 2 for the grant. And Title I is $2,539, and Title IIA is $326, so I just need the committee to approve those.
Do we approve these separately or all together?
I think altogether is fine.
All right. Are we good?
And just the other question would be, do you want the difference of the Metco? Probably as the number?
As the METCO, the new amount there.
You could approve the
266.
11, or do you want the whole 266 approved?
I think it would be a 266.
Okay.
266, I agree.
And that is due to last year's
That's actually,
membership or
this is
year's?
FY19 that we
Okay.
received a letter from.
Based on this year's numbers?
That's correct, so they just
Participation.
increased it, so.
Okay, excellent.
All right, I move to approve the METCO grant for $266,595 and the FY18 Title I Year 2 increase of $2,539 and the FY18 Title 2A increase, year 2 increase, did you get that?
Yeah.
For $326.
Excellent. Motion has been made
Second?
and now has been seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries 4-0.
Excellent, thank you. Now we can expend those funds.
There you go.
We have first quarter financial report.
That's right. So in your packet, you're going to see the FY19 quarterly financial report as of September 30th. As I always say to you, attaches a spreadsheet that is designed as a financial update for the FY19 school budget as of September 30th, 2018. This report also includes all grants and revolving accounts as well. If you turn to page 4, in looking at the budget update on page 4, the salary accounts are in the top section. And you will see that the salaries right now, the middle where I've highlighted green, the ending balance is $1,269,115 as of right now. We always encumber as many of the funds, as many of the salary accounts as we can. A lot of these cannot be encumbered for miscellaneous reasons. Usually it's hourly employees that the hours fluctuate, or temporary employees that, again, we're not sure how the week to week. So does anyone have any questions on the top section at all?
We still have not looked to purchase the lunch equipment that we've discussed in the last couple of years.
Lunch
We're talking
equipment.
freezers and...
Well, that goes on to page 2, so I'm,
Oh, well, I was going up to your tutorial.
Oh, I'm sorry, so,
Okay,
yeah,
go
so
for it,
I just
though.
wanted to walk through the,
We're in the numbers then. I'm with you. Okay.
yeah, okay.
Hold my question.
Are we good?
Yes, we
So,
are.
so I thought first we'd talk about the salaries,
Yep.
okay, and the operational budget.
Okay.
Things that I could tell you, like somebody might get curious, the teachers, there's a balance there, and we typically encumber salaries for that. The reason you're going to see balances there is there's advisor stipends that are in there that are contractual, and between the three schools, I mean, that's up to, maybe $80,000, $90,000. So it's things like that, and those are paid out in December and June, and some leave of absence, some change in personnel. I always go back in, especially at this time of year when things calm down, to really analyze the accounts. So you might see some of those adjustments on the next quarter also. On the bottom section then, you're going to see your expense accounts for the operational budget. I would like to bring to your attention that the contracted services and the out-of-district tuition lines that show a deficit right there will be covered by circuit breaker revolving funds. I will be transferring those over. And again, that'll be reflected on the next quarterly statement. So you'll see a balance there of $317,180. And at the very bottom is the combination of the two, which is $1,586,295 at this time. Does anyone have any questions on that section?
Hey, well, we need a finance subcommittee meeting for the contracted services and the out-of-district tuition.
No.
To transfer those? You can.
No, circuit
Okay.
breaker, right.
Oh, you allocate circuit breaker?
Correct,
Okay,
yep.
Yep.
That's all part of the plan, the different, one of the funding sources for special education,
Oh, okay,
back at the beginning of the budget.
I see. So it just needs to be allocated?
That's right.
Yep.
So, page 5, and this is where you get into some of what, I tried to give you some narrative there. I wasn't going to go over every single line item, but I remind you of what all the grants are and the different revolving accounts. Page 5 at the top section are the grants that the district has. You will see that we are very fortunate to have $1.5 million in grants, and a reminder that if we didn't have these grants, we would need to request significantly more funds from the town. So you'll see what, grants begin and they end, typically, unless you have like an FY18 year 2, like we just spoke about, but typically they do come to closure at the end of a fiscal year. So these are brand new grant amounts here, which you have already approved, the year-to-date expended, the funds encumbered, and remaining balances as of right now. That doesn't mean that those aren't going to be expended. They're just, as of September 30th, they hadn't been yet.
It's the Ludlow Inclusion and Preschool Learning Environment, that's new this year.
That's the CPC. It used to be called CPC. They
Okay.
just changed the name of it.
Oh, I see.
Community Partnership.
for
Can't remember.
children.
And they
It
changed
used
the
to
name to
for-
IPPL. This.
Yeah, for early childhood.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
And the math ambassadors? What is that?
Math
Next one.
ambassadors.
That's part of isn't that Project Lead the Way?
It's not Project Lead the Way. The Math ambassadors, is that one that Desi partnered with Worcester
Yes.
Polytech Institute.
So they
and-
asked, and actually we have two, Mr. Fredette and I believe Ann Zito, Mrs. Zito, who's one of our math coaches, are math ambassadors for the state. And so they go to training periodically at WPI and then actually bring that back.
Right, so that's
And can train
a stipend.
staff.
The funds
Yep.
there, the small amount there is for stipend
Great.
for that training and for them to bring it back and teach everybody else.
Excellent.
Any other questions on any of the grants? So the bottom section, you're going to see all of the revolving accounts that the district has. Athletic revolving, the athletic stadium, you'll see that that is starting to build some, a nice balance there.
So,
Yep.
to that point, the question has been posted that eventually we're gonna have to replace the turf. And we're, how many years in now on that field?
It opened in 2011, so we're about 7 years
7
in.
years.
It's supposed to
Anticipated?
go anywhere from 12 to 15 years. So I think the rental amount that we get for the stadium probably will enable us to take care of the resurfacing the track.
Okay.
I think the turf is going to be
Capital.
upwards, yeah, it's going to be a capital project.
Do we know the cost of that?
I don't know the
Yeah.
exact cost, but I know.
It's not twice the 33.9 that we've taken in already, because we still have to do the track as well, at the
Right.
same time?
No, you can do them at
Yeah.
separate years. The track probably will wear out faster than the turf. I don't think the
Okay.
track had a life expectancy of 12 to 15
Yeah.
years. I want to say it was closer to 8 to 10 years.
So should that be on our capital
I know, just thinking
plan?
that.
even though we have a
Oh, because it
potential
goes
funding
out for
source.
3 years?
Because it goes out
We
5
could,
years.
yeah, we can
5
certainly
years.
put it on for next year.
Yeah, we should think
You know
about
it's gonna
that.
take-
And the turf as
Great,
well, and talk about how we're gonna fund that in 5 years.
Okay.
Because
That's a
that will
very
be a
good
separate
point.
project, so, okay.
Thank
But
you.
that's 7 years, the
I can't believe
33.9.
that.
Yeah.
So 5,000 a year, roughly.
Right, but
Rentals.
if you
no,
recall,
I
that's
think
really
Have
been,
been allocated
year.
funds?
that's
allocated funds
really
for that?
been just like the last year and a half.
Last 2 years
Okay.
is where we started
Yeah.
to pick up. That's coming from more rentals similar to, say, Lax Plus, when they do that showcase.
Sure.
Where they're using it for a good number of hours and using the scoreboards, using everything, so they're interested in not only reserving it, they're willing
Right.
to pay for everything that they would like to use, and certainly have custodians and so forth. It's that, I think also the Pioneers playing games, although I don't know that they did it as much last year.
Yeah, maybe not this year, yeah.
But it's those kind of groups that actually build that. The smaller ones that maybe use it for an hour or two
Yeah.
doesn't really generate too much revenue.
Do we know if in a comprehensive project, a separate outbuilding would be
Like a
applicable to
concession
the,
type
yeah, to
building?
the reimbursement rate?
To the
In terms of
reimbursement?
MSBA?
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe so, but I can look into that.
I've never heard of it, but
Because in theory, you're just adding a bunch of bathrooms and.
Oh, I know.
If it was attached to the building, would it make a difference?
well, if it was attached, well, here.
Well, maybe we stick the high school right up against the
Well,
field.
for another example is like,
Sports in the way.
No, we'll go around.
in the way.
We'll put the tennis courts in the middle of the school.
A courtyard.
Yeah, courtyard.
like if we,
Stadium around it.
in a comprehensive project, they won't pay for central office. because
I know that, but I'm wondering
And they
about.
also don't pay for a swimming pool.
They don't pay
Do
for
that as well, which
So-
both of which we'll have to do.
That-
I would think they probably won't pay for
Okay.
it, would be my guess, but we'll
Unless it's
certainly-
attached.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I can-
even it's
I
gonna
can
have
research it
educational
and
value,
see
it's gotta
what-
meet their criteria.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Yeah.
There's criteria that it has to meet, it's not just attached.
Well, we could design such that it could be a multi-use facility,
Right.
during the day of the
Right.
school, but during the.
I mean, it's worth a
Like,
phone,
especially
it's
if
worth a
I don't
phone
know,
call.
Build around the tennis courts.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Nice
We're
view.
gonna need those
Lights.
options.
If it ever does happen, there are questions like that, like how do you get more seating in an auditorium without having to pay,
Yeah.
get around what they say?
Well, no, you just have to
Do you use
have
it
it
as
for-
a
use
different
it for
learning
educational value.
space? Do you have
Yeah.
a balcony that's got its own little desks that looks down, or I
Well,
think
we
these
need,
are
what we
these are
need
things
is
to ask
priorities of the
if.
community, and
we ever
if
get
they
lucky.
apply to what we're trying to do, and then do it.
Right,
Yes,
right.
agreed.
See, part of their criteria is educational value. Well, we hold music classes in the auditorium.
Right.
So there's your educational value.
Right,
Cool.
right,
It's not complicated, it's just you just have to show what you do.
right. We have to be creative.
Right.
If,
If.
I feel like
No,
I'm
not
off
if, when.
topic.
when.
A little bit off
Sorry,
topic, but that's okay.
They
No
will
Hey,
worries.
when you put me in this seat, anything can happen. We have a quarterly report. We're gonna keep going, right?
Yeah,
More?
so we're almost done. So on the revolving accounts, I've listed those there, and you'll see the balances. Couple things I just want to bring to your attention is the circuit breaker funding line. We did roll over $282,105, but on July 2nd, I think I put in my notes, right? Another, that fourth quarter payment for last year came in. So the reality is it was really $507,766 that was rolled over. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And school lunch.
Pam, does
Yeah.
that change the final column, the current balance?
No,
No, so that's the correct current balance.
that's correct,
Okay.
because now we've only received the first,
35,000?
right, the first quarter
Okay.
for FY19, I think came in. That makes
Right,
sense?
and it reflects the carried forward, the different
Correct,
carried
yes.
forward number that's not here, but the one you said.
Yes.
Yep, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And school lunch.
I had a question about that.
Sure.
No,
Oh,
that-
I know you
go
do. So what I had said in my little blurb here was that in FY18, the FY18 year-end balance was $442,285, and the school lunch account is a self-sustaining program. A reminder that the Bureau of School Nutrition recommends retaining a balance of 12 weeks of operating costs, which in our case equates to approximately $240,000. So when you see those large numbers there, you need to understand that $240,000 of that $400,000 really has to be put to the side. This is to ensure that we have enough funds to handle any expensive equipment repair, plan for capital expenditure, and other unforeseen expenses. I did have a conversation with Lori Paul, who certainly wanted to invite anyone, any one of you, to reach out to her. She'd be more than happy to sit with you. She'd be more than happy to come to one of the meetings to also answer any additional questions. She did give me an informational sheet that I wanted to just share with you. There were some questions about like what kind of expenditures was she planning to. On the bottom right side of this sheet, you're going to see she has listed some items here so that you could have a better understanding, and some of those are about $15,000 for new register terminals, lunchroom renovation, $5,000, aprons and shirts for staff, $7,000, walk-in freezer at Mountain View, $4,000. As you can see, this adds up very quickly. Trainings, a total of $17,000. So again, I just wanted to give you a little more insight to what those numbers really make up, and again, to extend that invitation from Lori Paul to reach out to her if you have any additional questions, or if you'd like her here to just let Gordon and I know, and we can arrange that.
I like that the high school lunch increased by 4%.
Yeah.
Jake, is it better? Is the food?
Do you like the lunchroom?
Yeah?
Yeah, I think that's improved.
Right.
It really looks nice, but I mean, do they change how they're doing the food and stuff too?
Yeah, so like a lot of the options this year are a bit different, and I feel like more people are, from what I've seen, are getting lunch.
Oh,
from the
that's
school.
nice. That's good to know. Thank you.
And they've got the new counter there with
Yeah.
the stools, trying to really invite the students and make it their space, what
Yeah.
they need.
Looks like
So-
you had faculty often eating right there, or at
Yeah,
least
they-
administrators eating right there, and maybe some of the guidance counselors.
Yeah, they installed I believe last year they installed a table just for the staff and administrators. So,
But now students are joining them.
yeah.
That's I noticed that
That is good.
it was a nice thing to see.
Were those funds from this revolving account that did the high school renovation?
Some of them were, some of it was a grant that she received,
Okay.
and some of the funds did come from the
For
school.
the renovation.
Yes,
But the
yeah.
tables were purchased by the high schools.
By the high
Base
school,
budget?
yeah.
Okay.
And that was a partnership between Dr. Flanagan and, Lori Paul, working together with this vendor, this company that came in to help with the design. It was a real collaboration.
Cool.
And they're very, very proud of that. So I would just like to remind everyone that it is imperative to remember that the balances provided are a snapshot in time and are changing constantly. I have no concerns at this time, and I feel like we're right on target to where we should be.
So are these going to be purchased then, or look to be purchased in the near future of the?
Yeah,
items?
she's working on them. Some of them,
Okay.
she has quotes, and I actually have a file, I might have, no, I left it on my desk. I have a file where some quotes are there. Some of these jobs, she's working with DPW on, and they're kind of trying to see if it's something they can do in-house. Some repairs they can, and there's still a cost to that as well, parts, et cetera. And sometimes they can't do it. So a few of those things, she's, working with them on, or also waiting to see quotes. But this is the plan for this
Okay,
year. So,
great.
yeah.
I mean, it appears the funds are there. And,
Exactly.
Makes sense to do updates.
Right.
And we charge the minimum that we're allowed to charge, right? We can't change the
pricing.
price
The
for
pricing,
lunches, right?
right.
We're at
They
the-
guide us.
We're allowed-
We would have to possibly go up. If you remember, in order to participate in the free and reduced lunch, they keep you at a set minimum.
Right.
Yeah.
And a year ago, we had gone up because we were below that minimum.
That was frustrating.
It was.
Okay,
Says kindly.
we could use a motion for the acceptance of that.
Move to approve the FY19 first quarter financial report as reported.
Second?
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries 4-0. We have a gift donation. Pam,
Yeah,
please.
so in your packet, 5.2.3, you'll see a request from Dr. Flanagan for the school committee to accept this check in the amount of $165.59. This is from a company called Ohio Pile Prints. And they had reached out to Dr. Flanagan about them selling actual spirit wear. Am I saying it? Spirit wear bearing our school name at the local stores, and they would send us, some of the proceeds. So that's where this check comes from. It's the first time that she's received it and did approve and work with the company on this. So we're looking for you to approve this for the gift account.
I'm curious, like what stores, like at
Like
Dick's or
Walgreens? No, I'm
Walgreens?
thinking it's more local right here, so you might
okay.
see
I
that
saw
if you
some
zip
stuff at Stop and
into.
Shop.
At Stop and
Oh,
Shop?
okay, yeah, that's my understanding, so.
So I'll move to accept the $165.59 check as a donation from Ohio Pile?
Yeah.
Ohio
Pile.
Pile Prince.
Interesting name.
To the East Long Meadow High School.
Great, motion has been made
Second?
and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. That motion carries 4-0.
Great, thank you. I've done around. So the next item, 5.2.4, in your packet is a letter from Tim Allen, principal of Birchland Park, and he is asking, I don't know if you recall, but back when we had the audit of the student activity accounts, we talked about, what should be a revolving account and what should not, and when there's fees being brought in, it should be a revolving account. So as soon as
Thinking of that Coca-Cola one.
Yeah.
Oh, am I on the wrong one? I'm so sorry.
There's one
I
up.
jumped right out of order?
It may have got caught on one of the
Oh, yeah.
clips.
No, I had the right one, but I was saying the second one there. I apologize. Okay, so there's a letter there for $60 from the Coca-Cola for selling products from the beverage machine in the faculty dining room lounge. So Dr. Allen would like you to accept this, so.
Is there an irony to the fact that we have Coca-Cola only for the faculty?
It could be
Or
water.
no? It's not.
Right, it's not necessarily,
Probably
that's
so.
correct.
It's
It's not-
it's not something
It's
that...
okay,
Okay,
Greg.
I'm
There
just
it
asking.
goes.
I'll just take a motion from here then. Just asking.
I move to approve the $60 given to us from the Coca-Cola Company for selling the beverages to go to Birchland Park Middle School.
Motion has been made
Second?
and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries 4-0.
Great, we'll get those deposited so they can expend the funds.
Thank you.
Now, going
Now
on
you
to
can-
the next one. Sorry, folks. So 5.2.5, this is a request from Dr. Allen to create a new revolving account for their functional academics programs called Coffee Cafe. They have given you the flyer that they have posted there for the staff. This will be a mobile coffee cart that sells coffee to staff only. Students will learn multiple skills as they operate this cart, including social interaction skills and computational math skills. And I attached that flyer so that you could all see that. So we're looking to set up a revolving account for this program to start.
When we set up a revolving account, who is the designee to allocate the sources of said revolving account? Is it depend on the revolving account?
Right, so it's for, to expend on what exactly, so it's only for this program.
Right,
the
so who
supplies.
decides how to allocate the money
I
for
forget
like
the
this one?
teacher, did they mention
It's a teacher
that?
specifically?
Well, it's the teacher would work with.
Collects, yeah.
Yeah.
But what it would be is as they collect money, we can use Cafe East at the high school as an example. As they collect that money, the teacher then is responsible for making sure it's counted and given over to the faculty manager. And really, that should happen nightly.
That'll come through here at central office
Right.
now.
And then once they,
Revolving accounts.
correct, but don't they give it to the faculty manager to bring down?
No, we do it here.
Okay, I take
And
that.
so, it was a change that I put in
Change.
place, yeah.
Okay.
So we take care
So
of all those
teachers-
funds come
yes,
here.
Teachers deliver it here.
That's right.
Okay. And then it goes into our safe until it's deposited.
And then just like any other account that we have control over, the expenditures go through the warrant process where it's a requisition and it has to be approved by the principal, then by me, then it's assigned a purchase order, so it goes through the same,
Just-
yes.
Cool.
Have they spoken at all about since it's from 7:30 to 1? I know this is about approving the account, but just in terms of interruptions to students' schedules? Since that's such a long span of time.
Well, I
and
guess it's going to be different, multiple students.
Right,
so-
it's going to be different students delivering throughout the day,
Okay.
but they're setting up and doing it more in terms of using it as a lesson to set up a business and see
Okay.
how the math applies, how the marketing is put together and so forth. But that's a good question. My guess is that there's going to have to be a hiatus somewhere in there, so maybe it's
Yeah.
that they can take orders
Yeah.
until 1, but they may be delivering at
Okay.
some point the next day. But I can find out more information.
Yeah,
for you.
just in terms of like continuity for scheduling, so a child isn't necessarily,
And knowing the administration over there, I'm sure that they've
Sure.
got this in check. We just don't know the exact
Right.
details, but we can find that out for you.
thank you.
I'll move to approve the creation of the revolving account for Coffee Cafe at Portsmouth Park Middle School.
Motion has been made
A second.
and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, nay. And that motion carries 4-0 as well. And I believe that concludes the business for the evening.
Does, yep.
Jake, thank you for coming tonight. Mr. Mackey, thank you, sir. Anything else? Happy Thanksgiving?
Yep.
Thanksgiving.
There's a game here, I hear, Thanksgiving Day.
Chris Warm.
10 a.m.
Okay, motion to close this out.
So moved.
Motion
I'll
made
second.
and seconded and further discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you.